Okay. Thank you so very much for coming here today. We are really, really excited that you're here. I will share. I will share. Can you see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen?
We see your face.
Not yet.
We see your camera.
Not
Okay. Wow. So you are now able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see it now. Yeah.
We can see it. It's in preview mode. It's not in display mode, but yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, we are going to go with this because it's a bit of time. So thank you so very much for coming here today and taking your time out to take part into a Global Life Speakers Summit. We really, really do appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts, and NCU, Andrea, and everyone else from the team is really, really humbled that you've said yes to being here and helping us to see how best are we going to have the best year ever. So I'll take you through briefly about us. We are GST, Global Speakers Summit. We are a global community, and we inspire, we empower, we support, and we transform lives globally through our experts, life experiences, learnings, and also opinions and ideas. And we do this, we do have a YouTube channel. We also have, we on Instagram, we are we have a Facebook group. So anyone that is watching and everyone that is here, if you ever feel that you're stuck, you've got something that you need to say, we are always reachable any way that you find us through Global Speakers Talk. So you might be thinking who I am. I'll give you a little brief about me before we dive into all of this. My name is Josephine Kalagira. I am the Positivity Comeback Queen, previously known as that, but I am a mindset and well-being coach. I am the GST host. I'm a best-selling author, and I'm a speaker at the same time. So I have written a number of books, one of which is called The Revolutionary Breakthrough: How to Turn Your Setback into a Purposeful Comeback. I'm a Girl Child in Need ambassador in Uganda. I'm a charity fundraiser, and I've got a Facebook community called Thrive and Shine Through Your Setbacks. But this was not always the case, but because in 2017, when I had a personal injury that limited the things that I could do, became wheelchair bound, my son became a young carer from the age of 5, things changed. But I've been able to turn that around, take ownership of my life, and I have evolved, which is why I am now deeply passionate about speaking, about helping ambitious female coaches and entrepreneurs to take their power back, to evolve, to be the best version of themselves, to actively work through the stories that have been keeping them feel weak, stuck, and in fear, so they can ignite that inner sunshine from inside out and show up as the best versions of themselves, excited, inspired, empowered, and with confidence. So without taking you through so much, I would love now to take you through our first speaker, who is going to share with us all the nuggets or the juice and her expertise in what she does. And our first speaker is called Millie Leung. So Millie is an award-winning entrepreneur. She's a business mentor. She's an international speaker at the same time. She in 2021, she became an entrepreneur with no networking experiences, with little money, and she started her business from home. So within 26 months, she was able to turn things around and build her business to 7-figure US dollars and became financially free. So Millie is the best, is being awarded the best brand in marketing in Singapore. She's the creator and host of a YouTube channel that is called Shine to Impact Podcast, which is now available in different platforms and within 20 countries or more by the time we're speaking now. So she's got her book called Mind and Money Makeover, and it is an international best-selling book. And today, Millie is invited on global stages from hundreds of people to up to 24,000 around the globe. So Millie is passionate about giving back. She has donated and built 3 schools for the underprivileged children and has provided financial resources to women, up to 60 plus women in developing countries. Millie is appointed as a global goodwill ambassador since 2019 for her humanitarian work. So I'd love to welcome Millie to give us her talk about how we can change our life in 2022.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Can you guys see me? And if the host would let me share my screen, that would be totally awesome. I know that Josephine is sharing her screen. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? I am so honored to be speaking here tonight. And if you could see me, can you type in the chat, put a 1 there so that I know that you can hear me and see me. For some reason, I cannot see myself. So it'd be nice that, okay, great. Wonderful. 111, that's fantastic.
Hang on a minute, Millie. Can you give me a moment? I need to know how to stop. I need to make you bigger screen, make you be big on the screen. So we can't.
No problem. But I'll just keep talking. Thank you so much, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all my friends from around the world. It's so lovely to finally see you all. And there's a little backstory, if you allow me to share with you. About a month ago, when I was invited to be at this particular event today, I just finished recording an episode on my YouTube channel. And guess what the name of that episode was? It was exactly how to change your life in 2022, word for word exactly. So I do think that is a sign from God, and I'm really honored to be here tonight, today in this global platform to be sharing with you some of my tips to help you to have your best year ever for 2022. All right, so do you want to continue? Okay, let me do that. All right, okay, I think I'm finally, can you guys see the screen now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bernard, for thumbs up. Wonderful. So thank you, Josephine, once again for giving me that awesome intro. And like I said, I'm really honored to be here. And I'm sure for the rest of the event, there are going to be a lot of tips and strategies shared by all the awesome global speakers that are coming up. So, but today, for the time being that I have with you, very short time, I'm going to share with you my 5 tips. Yeah, my 5 tips to help you change your life in 2022. So 5 steps. Of course, if you want to know more tips and strategies, do check out my New Year series on my YouTube channel. The link is right there. Now, these 5 steps I'm about to share with you has literally transformed my life in the last few years. From being broke and lost to building a 7-figure business online, be invited to speak to more than 10 countries around the world, published an international best-selling book, traveled more than 90 times in the last 9 years on vacations, win a prestigious personal branding award, and also donated 3 schools for underprivileged children. So I'm sure these are 5 simple but yet powerful steps can also help you too. Now, of course, with that said, let's dive right in. Now, the first things, I said 5 steps, they're literally 5 questions as well. Now, the first question that I want you to ask yourself is this. If you could accomplish one big thing this year, what would that be? ask yourself that question. Why? Because it's very important that you know what your direction is. Now, if you don't know what your direction is, you're kind of like this boat in the big, vast ocean, but then you're drifting by the ocean, the wind, and the waves, wherever it takes you. But when you know exactly where you want to go by asking yourself that question, if you could accomplish one big thing this year, what would that be? Then you know your direction. And with that, you literally take control of the sail, and you now become the captain of your life, and you can achieve anything you want. So make sure that you're focusing on one thing, one big thing at a time. When I say that, I don't mean like 50 things, 100 things, because I'm a true believer that less is more. Less is more. So focusing on that one big thing this year will literally transform your life. Now, if you want to know more tips and strategies on how to narrow down to that one big thing, I highly recommend this book. If you get to know me a little while, you know that I am a big believer in reading. In the last 10 years, I've been on average reading one book per week. And this is one of the life-changing books I highly recommend. It's The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's an awesome book that helps you to focus on that one big thing for your life. I still remember in 2011, when I started my first business, I asked myself that question: what was that one thing that I want to focus on? And that was the answer. I wanted to start my own business. And because I was so focused and laser focused, I was able to get started and achieve amazing results. All right, so with that said, let's go into step number 2. Now that you know your direction, I really think that it's important that we dig deeper into this question. Question number 2, which is step 2, is why do I want to achieve that one big thing this year? As a lot of the speakers here today, you are entrepreneurs, and I'm sure entrepreneurs would know this. A lot of times when you go from where you want to be to where you are today, from where you are to where you want to be, it's not always sunshine and roses and rainbows, right? There are always a lot of obstacles and setbacks and challenges. So it's really, really important that we dig deep to finding why you want to achieve that. Why are you doing what you want to do? Who do you want to become, and what and who you're doing that for? I still remember in year 2011, when I started my first business, I was in this particular situation. I don't have any money because I literally lost most of my hard-earned savings in the 2008 to 2010 global financial crisis. So not a lot of money to begin with. I had no prior business experience. That was my first experience in 2011. I had no branding, marketing, and sales skills. I had very little time because my daughter at the time was just 1 year old. And I have no network because I just recently relocated to a country called Singapore, where I had just 2 friends. So no network. And back in those days, more than 10 years ago, I also didn't have a social media presence. So literally no one knew me, no one trusted me. And as any of the entrepreneurs would know, if no one knows you, no one trusts you, it's not so easy, isn't it? So in fact, when I started my first business, my first 60 potential customers said no to me. It was literally no, 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 no. I have to say it was pretty tough. In fact, I remember going home every single night and feeling really defeated and not knowing whether I'm gonna ever get results. But you know what? You know what kept me going? It was finding that why. My why back then, 10 years ago, was pretty simple. I really wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have the freedom to spend time with my child. Any of you here wanting freedom? If you want freedom, can you put in the chat 1? That means you want freedom. If that is you too. Want to see that response if you are looking for more freedom as well. For me, it's not just that. As time goes on, I also dug deeper into finding my why. I really wanted to impact more lives around the world. I believe that we only live once, right? We have to live it fully. I wanted to build schools for underprivileged children. I wanted to become the best version for myself. And I wanted to become a role model for my daughters. And more importantly, I want to live a joyful, meaningful, and impactful life. And because I knew my why, I dug deep into my why, the obstacles didn't matter. The excuses don't come up because my why was big enough. When your why is big enough, you will find your how. All right, so step 3 to change your life for the better in 2022 is to ask yourself the 3rd question. And that question is, What can I do today to polish my mind? You see, as Tony Robbins once said, success is 80% psychology and 20% skills. Motivation, as you know, doesn't last. So we need to kind of polish and nurture our mind every single day. I recommend developing a solid morning routine. Spend at least 20 to 30 minutes a day on personal development, books or audio each day, and take great care of yourself with healthy diets, exercise, and also sleep. Now, if you do want more resources on this, I highly recommend this book, Robin Sharma's book called The 5 a.m. Club. I don't know if any of you have read that book. If you have, can you put in the chat too, so that I know that you read this book? It is a pretty awesome book. And I have been following the principles from this book for the last 110 days now, literally waking up every morning before 5 a.m. and follow the principles from this book and doing all the morning routine. And I have experienced so much growth physically, mindset, emotionally, and spiritually in the last 110 days. So I highly recommend that. Yeah, definitely work on your mind. All right, let's move on to step number 4. Step number 4 and question number 4 is ask yourself this question. Am I starting small enough? Yes. Are you starting small enough? Yes, oftentimes we have these big visions and big dreams, but when it comes time to actually doing that, we don't know where to begin, and sometimes we procrastinate, right? Isn't that all of us do that sometimes? We feel stuck sometimes. And years ago, my mentor taught me a mantra that has really served me well over the years. And this mantra, I want to share that with you, and I hope that this will help you too. My mentor told me, take a baby step today, and then take the next baby step tomorrow. So literally, this is what you do every single day. Take a baby step today and take a baby step tomorrow. Starting small, break your big goals into something small and manageable so that you don't have any resistance into doing. Now, of course, if you want to get started and you want to know how to overcome procrastination and change your habits, this is a pretty awesome book. I highly recommend. Also, a very life-changing book that I recommend is The Atomic Habits by James Clear. All right, so let's move on to the last step, and that is question number 5. The last question that I want you to ask yourself this year to change your life is, what is one action that I can take within the 24 to 48 hours? The reason why I said that is, the truth is, no matter how big your dreams are and how small the steps you're going to take, if you don't start, your dreams will never come true. Yesterday was already gone and tomorrow is not here yet. Right now, right at this moment today is really what we truly only have. So if you want to achieve your dream this year, the time to do it is now. What I want you to do is take one simple action towards your dreams within the next 24 to 48 hours. And I promise you, as you look back, as you take that baby step every single day, 1 year later, at the end of 2022, you look back, you would have achieved amazing results and literally can transform your life. Now, my point is, you want to act now. So once again, these are the 5 questions that I want you to ask yourself so that you can achieve your dreams this year and change your life and achieve your dreams. 5 questions. If you could ask yourself this question is, number 1, if I could achieve one big thing this year, what would that be? Number 2, why do you want to achieve that one big thing this year? Dig deep into your why so that you have that feel, that fire underneath you. Number 3 is, what can I do today to polish my mind, right? Motivation doesn't last. We need to nurture our mind every single day. And step number 4 is, am I starting small enough so that you have no resistance? Keep taking that small baby step every single day. And last but not least, what we have is now. So make sure that you act now. What action can you take within the 24 to 48 hours? So once again, these are my 5 steps to help you change your life for the better this year in 2022. And once again, I'm so honored to be here today and really, really grateful And I would like to say, once again, thank you so much, Josephine, for the amazing hosting. And if you want to get in touch with me, you see my website is mililang.com on the bottom right-hand side. You can go there and check out my free gift. I have a free gift for you to grab if you want to grab my free book, Passion to Profit Playbook, The Secrets of Turning Your Passion into an Impactful and Profitable Business. And also check out my YouTube channel. I'd be so grateful. It's a brand new channel. I've been only running it for a few months. So you could go there and say hello, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And also comment and tell me that you're from this summit. I'll be so grateful. Thank you so much, everyone. And once again, pass the time back to Josephine. And thank you. I look forward to learning from many of the speakers today as well. Bye-bye.
Wow, thank you so very much, Millie. That was very, very powerful. I really, really do appreciate you. And I hope you're feeling how I'm feeling as well. So high power, high power. Thank you so very much. That was helpful. So our next speaker is called, hang on, someone is trying to connect. Our next speaker is called Dr. Nelson Beltiger. He is a life coach and business coach at the same time. He's from Toronto, and he's an entertaining global motivation and educational speaker, a doctor graduate from Cornerstone Christian University, and he's a published #1 best-selling author on Amazon as well. He's a certified and executive business coach, physical therapist, and an author again. He considers himself fortunate to have had the ability to participate, struggle, fail, excel in many personal endeavors, as well as becoming a team, an individual team in sports and business ventures. He feels truly blessed to have had a number of people in his life who have positively inspired him to grow. And then, however, the height of his professional career was faced with the adversity of his life. And as a result, Dr. Nelson will lovingly be the first person to tell anyone without a shadow of doubt that adversity truly introduces a person to themselves. Let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Nelson.
Wow, Josephine, thank you so much for that introduction. I promise I'll do the best I can to fulfill those words that you said. And I know it wasn't easy to say, but I thank you, and I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nelson Beltiger from Toronto, Canada, and today is a great day to be above ground, I tell you. And you'll understand why I say that as we spend more time with one another. But before I say anything, I need to let you and the whole planet know that if I say nothing else, me, Nelson Beltiger, is nothing but an imperfect soldier for Jesus Christ. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. And my friends on the panel, for those of you sitting at home, and for everyone across the planet, I want you to know that you're in the right place at the right time. I want to remind you that you're smart, you're strong, and you're special. And I want to give you something. I want to give you this quote, this sentence that has been a huge part of my life ever since I was a kid. And it goes like this. If you want, grab a pen and write this down. Gems, precious gems, can't be polished without friction, nor human beings without trials and tribulations. I'll say it again. Gems, precious gems, can't be polished without frictions, nor human beings without trials and tribulations. And I want you to have that in the back of your mind as we share these few minutes together. My friends, we're all here to talk about how we can shape our 2022, how we can change our 2022, how we can possibly let go of good so we can grab onto better in 2022 and beyond. But there's this word in this English language that none of us can escape, especially the dreamers of this world. And the word that I'm talking about is defined by a situation or a condition filled with calamity, misfortune, and distress. And that word I'm talking about is adversity. Adversity. Adversity truly, truly introduces a person to themselves. For those of you that are looking to reshape your life, chase a dream, go after the things that you want, I promise you, adversity is going to show up. Bumps in the road are going to show up. Reasons to quit are going to show up. Reasons to not get out of bed are going to show up. And I'm letting you know they're coming, so at least we'll be ready. My friends, there's a story I'd like to share with you. You know, I'm one of those guys that knows what it's like to climb that mountain of ambition and success, get to the top, enjoy the view for a while, only to come crashing down, spiraling down, losing everything that I'd ever worked for in a blink of an eye. You see, I had built a thriving physical therapy private practice that specialized in injury assessment, treatment, and rehabilitation. And I'll never forget this. It was May 2016. We were on the second floor of my studio clinic with my staff, celebrating, clanging the champagne glasses, which were secretly filled with Diet Coke, because we were at work. We were celebrating because we reached this monumental goal. We were living the dream. We were on cloud nine. It was amazing. And then a week later, 162 hours from that special joyous moment in time, I was shockingly diagnosed with cancer. And I was forced to immediately go into the hospital for supervision, evaluation, and chemotherapy treatments. And to add salt to the wound, I even lost my ability to walk, and I became a prisoner of a wheelchair for 1,651 consecutive days. Now, talk about adversity showing up. I was then put in a position where I had to find a way to reshape and redesign the remaining days of my life as I lied in that hospital room. But the reason why I share that story with you is to remind you that adversity will attack you anytime it wants, regardless of your age, your gender, your religion, and your status. And according to my grade 3 teacher, when it comes to adversity, there are only two outcomes. Either you find a way to conquer it or you crumble beneath it. My friends, that chapter that I just shared with you was the easy part of my uphill cancer battle. Lean in, let me share you the rest. 2016, 2017, I was forced to live in five different hospitals because I couldn't take care of myself at home. And my very first cancer doctor, let's call him Dr. K. Dr. K gave up on me, told me I was terminal and that he and the hospital couldn't do anything to save my life. But the good news was he was going to put me in the palliative care unit where I could be comfortable and pain-free in my remaining days. When I heard this, I'm not going to lie, it was like a sword had come and swooped and cut me right at the knees. And I wallowed in about self-pity for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then I promised myself that if I am going to die, I'm going out in a bang and I'm going to chase one more undying goal before I'm ushered off this planet. I just didn't know what that was yet. Talk about designing your remaining days, huh? I was lying in my hospital bed one night, staring at the clock. It was 6:11 a.m. There was a tear rolling down the right side of my cheek. And then it came to me, the idea. My curtain call, as I would like to say. And my undying goal was to write this blog, a blog called thepositivedrip.com. You're probably wondering, why do you want to write a blog? You don't know how many days are left in your life. Well, it's not because it was for vanity reasons. Not at all. Not at all for vanity. You see, at that moment in time, I had a 6-year-old nephew, a 5- and 3-year-old niece, two brand new born twins that I love dearly. But I also knew that there was a chance that I wasn't going to get a chance to see them grow up. And I love my family. And that broke my heart. So I decided to write this blog to house my nuggets, my thoughts, my ideas, my dreams, conversations that I know that I would have with them if I was still alive. So that way I could secretly leave this blog behind for them. So I could still be a part of their lives after I had passed away. Talk about shaping your life right until your last breath. But it looks like the joke's on me. If we fast forward to 2018, one, I left Dr. K in the rearview mirror as fast as possible. My family got me out of his care, brought me to a brand new medical facility, medical team who did everything to keep me alive. And on September 28, 2018, that medical team miraculously stamped me cancer-free and told me to go live my life. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we win. And two, that blog that I was leaving behind for my younger family members has accidentally trickled across the planet and developed a global readership, which was never the plan, never the plan. And three, an online community is walking alongside that blog. Talk about humbling, so humbling. The reason I share all this with you is not to brag at all. It's to show you how adversity, that word, how adversity introduced me to a more stronger, more resilient me. How adversity introduced my brain into fighting instead of faltering. How adversity inspired one last undying love-filled goal for my younger family members. How adversity turned my brain on, and how it can turn your brain on as to what you can do in your remaining days on this planet instead of shutting it off. My friends, instead of me lying in that hospital bed waiting for the coffin to arrive, I chose to choose my fate and write that blog, put the pen in my hand, and be in control of what was going to happen next before I had to leave this planet. And you know what? All I can say is people ask me, how did you get through that difficult time? And my friends, this is the nugget I want to leave with you. We're all going to go through difficult times. All of us. Adversity is coming. And I told them that, just like Millie said, it is important to create an environment to grow. And I did everything I could to protect my mind, protect what was put in it, and to protect my attitude. For those of you that like to read, I would suggest this is what I did. I would read from a positive mental attitude book daily, 20 minutes a day at least. Stories of people that had their own trials and tribulations, stories of people that dug themselves out of whatever hole they were currently stuck in. Why? So I could remind myself that it's possible to climb out of whatever hole I was currently stuck in. And if they could do it, so could I. Two, let's say you're not a big reader. I totally get it. If you're not a big reader, I suggest you listen to information or you watch information. Perhaps plug into an audio podcast or a YouTube channel or a DVD play. Oh my gosh, I just said DVD. I'm a dinosaur. Or plug into a DVD player. Plug into information that can truly uplift and esteem you and make you feel worthy of success so you can erase stinking thinking from your brain. And three, this was my favorite part, three, stay away from people who use the word no, don't, won't, can't. Who do you think you are? Come on, that's never going to happen. No chance. Stay away from them and surround yourself with people that only truly want to see you win, who will help you win, especially when it's uncomfortable for them. You know, we all have family, we all have coworkers, we all have family, we all have friends, and we all have family who will be the first to tell you when things go wrong and remind you when you're not doing so well. You know, I was in the hospital. It was January 4th, 2018. I had a family member say, you know what, Nelson, you're not looking too good. How are you going to pull yourself out of this one? How are you going to beat cancer? It looks like a tough road for you. And I said, hey, we're family. We are. And today is January the 3rd, 2018. I need to take a break from you. Let's not see each other till January 30th, 2050. 2050. And I haven't seen this person since. I wonder why. And 4, and this is the hardest part. This is the hardest thing that even I had to struggle with. Accept the fact that what happened to you has happened to you. You can't erase it. But take ownership and the responsibility for what your remaining days will play out. Take the pen in your hand and write your future story. Take responsibility. It's not what happens to you, it's how you handle it. We all know adversity is coming, especially when you're trying to change yourself, better yourself, leave what you were before so you can step into your greatness. We know it's coming. And my friends, I have to remind you that the world has been waiting for someone or a group of someones who are foolish enough to believe that it's possible to defeat adversity. And I honestly believe that that person or persons is you. My friends, for those of you watching, the common denominator among us on this side of the camera is we know what it's like to dance with adversity, overcome adversity, and crush adversity. So everyone that speaks after me, I urge you to grab a pen and paper and listen to what they have to say. But I'm not done yet. The best part of my story is this. Remember how I told you I lost my ability to walk? For 2018, I spent 365 days rehabilitating myself as a patient. That's right, I was the patient now, so I could walk. And on January 3rd, 2021, I graduated from my wheelchair to my walker to 2 canes to 1 cane, and I put my cane in the closet, and I'm walking on my own ever since. But things get even better. I have a friend, America's #1 accountability coach, Andrea Mason from AndreaMasons.com. She's going to speak after me. Don't you dare leave the computer screen. She dropped an idea in my head and said, you know what? What's your next goal? I said, I want to run by the end of 2021, December 31st. So cheekily, she said, why don't you aim for June 1st? I said, June 1st? That's 6 months in advance. Talk about changing the plan. Talk about changing the itinerary. Talking about everything. Talking about that. So I said, okay, I'll try. So if you go to my YouTube channel right now, thepositivegyp.com, you will see me graduate from the wheelchair eventually, and I'll be running down the street. But the reason why I share that story with you is, look, those of you who are stuck onto good and afraid to grab onto better, I'm telling you, let go of good, grab onto better, because it's possible. And I'm living proof of it. And you don't have to read a book. You don't have to attend a seminar. You can just plug into this. It's possible. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this. Gems, precious gems, can't be polished without friction, nor human beings without trials and tribulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nelson Beltajar from Toronto, Canada. If you're looking to get to that next level of achievement, but don't know how to get there, find me at www.thepositivegyp.com. That's my time. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. Josephine, my dear, back to you. Back to you, Josephine.
Wow, Dr. Nelson, what have you just done? That is phenomenal. I don't know about you all, but I am having goosebumps, pins and needles. I'm super excited, tears rolling down my cheeks. And that was powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. It truly means a lot. And I hope you are all taking lots of notes. So our next, if you do have any questions, we will leave them behind later on, but we are just trying to get through every single person because I'm really super excited about this. So our next wonderful speaker is the amazing Andrea Mason. She is an accountability coach, like what Dr. Nelson talked about. She lives in the greater northeastern metropolis in the USA. She's a certified professional organizer. She is a coach. She is certified in entrepreneurship and small business management. She has over 2 decades of experience in personal development and social work and a major in psychology. She is your professional accountability coach of life transformational journey called Press Play. Your life, live your life plan your life according to you. Life transformational skills to heal the power of forgiveness. Then we struggle with that and achieve personal freedom. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the amazing Andrea Mason.
Thank you, Josephine. Everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, give me a thumbs up, everyone. If you can see me and hear me, we're ready to press play. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, your story is told to you when you are growing up. But at what point do you take the pen in your own hand and start writing your story? Our stories have chapters of grief, depression, sadness, and loss. Some of us have celebration, achievements, and rewards. I'm asking you, how to change your life in 2022? I want you to write this down because it's all about you. Let's get started. Let's press play. Some key points I want to draw attention is about perspective. When you change the lens of your life, that's when the perspective changes. See, I was born in a war-torn drug zone era at its prime during the cartel and born in Colombia, South America. Explosions, bombs, and war was going on. My parents had to make the ultimate sacrifice to put me up for adoption, for they were unable to care for themselves, let alone myself. And ladies and gentlemen, they made the choice to put me on a plane and send me to the promised land of Americas. 11 pounds, 11 months old. That's a pound per month. I remember recalling to what that was. My story was that I was those young children on the TV with the distended stomach. 11 pounds, 11 months. And at 7 years old, my parents decided to tell me that I was adopted. I was a gift to them. I was their treasure. But little did I know down the road, it was a tragedy. A tragedy, for I had no medical records, no photographs, no images of where I'm from. Just the newspaper clippings of the cartel and the life that I led. Bombs going off in an underdeveloped country. My perspective had to change. But at 7, you realize my parents didn't want me. They sent me on a plane to the Americas at 11 months old, weighing in at 11 pounds. What was I to do? How am I going to be loved? Who's going to love me? How am I going to trust someone? Well, ladies and gentlemen, during my elementary, middle school, and high school years, I learned about what it means to persevere. To persevere through being bullied every single day of my life because I looked different. I sounded different, and my stature was different from my family. Kids can be so cruel. I was shoved into lockers, thrown into garbage cans, and forced to eat my lunch in the bathroom just to be safe. Kids would say, "You don't look like your parents. How do you not know your parents? Your parents didn't even want you." This was the underlying sound going in my head. I had to work 10 times harder just to get by. Every relationship, I would self-sabotage just so I wouldn't get hurt. And every career path I've chosen, I had to persevere because I knew I was worth more. I could do more and I could be more. So I dedicated 2 decades of my life to social work and psychology. Social work to understand the diversity of this world, of this planet, to understand the different lifestyles and cultures and backgrounds of individuals, to understand the meaning of why people do what they do. I went into psychology to understand how the mind works, the body works, and the mindset, why we do what we do and why we don't do what we do. And in doing so, I've overcome trials and tribulations. And I decided that it was my chance to look at individuals through our Creator's eyes. I'm reminded of a Broadway play of Les Miserables. To love another person is to see the face of God. Who am I to judge? Show me perfection, and then I'll stand back. But as you know, our Creator made us different. And what made us different makes us authentic. Of course, we have to live life with passion. My parents has instilled in me, Andrea, no matter what you do what you love, do your best, and make sure you do it right. I am a woman of integrity and passion, and I'm a woman who pays it forward. I remember in this journey that I had to understand and alter my perspective and persevere. In 2007, I lost my mother, and I didn't know what to do. My perspective was, again, you take someone from me, leave me abandoned like a child again. Again, my perspective and perseverance was, how can I go on? This was the woman I devoted my life to. Told her everything as my father was grinding night and day to provide for the family. But I had to realize I had to take care of myself. I distanced myself after I remember my husband coming home. After celebrating a surprise party I threw for them from every one of their families. Because when we have a party, everybody shows up. I remember calling my father and saying, Dad, where are you? We're here. He said, I'm sorry, Andrea, Mom's not well. She may not be able to make it. I had to disclose to her 70 plus of her family and closest friends of theirs, as they're 2 weeks apart in age, were here to celebrate their life. And unbeknownst to me, a few minutes later, my mom rolled in and was greeted with unconditional love and open arms of all of her family. Who was I to say and think, did I give her an early repast? What a repast, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a celebration of their life after they've crossed over. And I remember that evening sitting in my mom's lap, remembering the memories. And she said, these were the cards that were dealt. I'm not angry. It's okay. And I remember we all sat there hugging and spending time with each other in unconditional love, only to come find out 2 days later, a knock on the door, they come up, and my husband's standing there. I said, what are you doing? My shift starts at 12. Why are you here? And I remember him looking at me, white as a ghost. I said, what's the matter? And he looked at me and he said, she's gone. She's gone. Now, what do I do? What is next for me in life? What do I have to live for now? I abandoned my family emotionally, spiritually and physically for 2 years, driving to her gravesite and back, only to be an hour one way, until my family said to me, she's not there. She's right here. And I made a declaration that I was going to change, but I suppressed it. My passion went with her, and only to come to find out a couple of years later, I was in the hospital room in an ICU unit hooked up to machines, diagnosed with myasthenia gravis. And for those of you who don't know, that's the terminal condition of shutdown of the autoimmune system. What was I to do now? What did I have to live for? But I remembered the secret. My husband reached out to me and said, remember that excerpt, the health message? Spoiler alert, I won't mention it. But I said, yes. I was over the hospital for a week and I remember they applied it. The next morning, the team came in. They said, Mom, Andrea, nothing has changed. And if you're unable to keep down food and move on your own free will, your stay is here until further notice. I said, bring it. They had draped and came to me. I draped my feet over the hospital bed and I jumped down because of my petite stature and I walked to the nurse's station and back, able to eat my lunch, snack, breakfast, and meals. And I got discharged. Clean bill of health till this very day. But little did you know, I had pre-existing conditions of autoimmune conditions that were caused by myself. Osteopenia, fibromyalgia, 7 ulcers on my gallbladder, appendectomy, upper respiratory, carpal tunnel syndrome, rheumatoid arthritis, exercise-induced asthma, all because my mind was not well. Bob Proctor says a disease cannot live in a healthy mind. So I changed my perspective. And here I am today, living my life with passion. I'm living my life with passion because I want to pay it forward. See, what they don't tell you in this journey is acting with integrity is a very lonely space because you act right, you do it right, and you believe it right. And it's important that you understand what your purpose is, like Millie said. That adversity is going to face you, like Dr. Nelson Belteshazzar said. And I'm here saying, with the proper perspective, the perseverance, and the passion, that's when you get to start writing your story. What is it, as Jim Carrey says, that you have that they need? Live your life right. As Greg Plitt says, you only have one life, but if you live it right, that's all you need. And in my journey, to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm successfully here, having spoken on every single continent, getting in front of the public eye, a little bit over a year, because I was behind the scenes helping someone. But what I'd done, the common thread, was that I treated everyone as a human being, not by their labels, not by their statures, but by who they are. It's not easy changing your life. So don't try changing others. When they're ready and willing, that's when the magic happens. I'd like to share one final excerpt. It's been some time since we reunited, but a good friend of mine, he's right there, or there, depending where you are, Dr. Nelson Belteshazzar, has told me the most amazing word in the English language is impossible. Why? Because in front of the word possible is I. Look in the mirror every single day. It starts with you. And remember, you have a choice in this world to press play. Plan life according to you. You're worth it. You deserve it. and your time is not up yet because you're still here. My name is Andrea Mason. I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. Stay tuned for an amazing panel. Miss Josephine, thank you so much for coordinating this. And I can be found on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as your personal accountability coach, and AndreaMasons.com. And I welcome you to receive your gift of a complimentary coaching session with me. Thank you so much for your time. Someone's listening, someone's watching. Be the light in their darkness. Thank you.
Wow, 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 Andrea. Thank you so very much. One of the reasons why the founder of Global Speaker Summit introduced this platform is exactly this: inspiring, empowering, motivating, transforming lives through our real life experiences, our expertise that we do have, and our learnings. And you have just spoken to soul. So I don't know how everyone else is feeling, but I am like literally writing and I'm literally buzzed up, and you're speaking to the soul. So thank you so very much. So our next wonderful guest is the amazing Besweli Kamia. He is an international speaker. He is a life coach. He is an author as well, and he helps young adults to go after their goals and dreams. He has written a book called The 3 Lessons He Learned from His Dad and How That Can Change Your Life. He has spoken on different stages, including ladies in property networking, expert circles networking, banking groups, and women in business. He has also been featured in the Association of Speakers Club magazine. He also presented a Motivational Monday segment on BBC Radio Suffolk for a period of 6 months. His vision is to inspire millions of people to go after their goals and dreams by discovering their life's purpose and facing the fears so that they can live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. He does this through holding his own seminars and group workshops. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the amazing Kamia Besweli.
Thank you, Josephine. I am super excited, and thank you to everyone, especially the Global Speakers Talk. You know, when I found out I was going to speak, I was so excited. As you guys know, some of you are probably going to find out how much I love, speaking and inspiring people to go after their goals and dreams. But before I even start, thanks to everyone, who's spoken and everyone who's coming on to speak. And me, like Josephine, I don't know about you, but I've just been taking notes. It's just, sometimes it's amazing when you attend these events. You just learn something. Sometimes, something, sometimes we say we need to be reminded. So I feel so blessed to obviously share on how to have a great 2022. You know what Millie mentioned when it was one of our, titles that when she got invited to obviously speak. Me too. I think it was actually my last video, on how to have a great 2020. Obviously, it's the start of the year, and most of us have, those, big goals and dreams. But for me, I don't know, talking about synchronicities, one of the things I wanted to share before I actually go into what I want to share on how to have a great 2022, Millie mentioned something. So let me ask you a question. What's that one goal that you'd like to achieve in 2022? And oh my God, this is being recorded. I'm going public now. See, my number one goal this year, when they say you put out something in public, now you gotta live up to it. Because I want to look up to this video back and say, did I hit my goal? Did I become short? Because for me now, this will be a testimony. Then I can say, look, this is the video, it's recorded. So my number one goal this year is to double my income. I never put my goals out there to public, but for some reason, no one feels something so strongly. It's crazy. My partner asked me, what are your goals this year? I didn't even tell her because I'd narrowed it down to, if there's one goal I want to achieve this year, it's that one. So I want you, before I dive into what I want to do, I want you to write your #1 goal that you want to achieve in 2022. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know some of you are saying, come, but I didn't have a goal. Guess what? This is not the end. So if you haven't, then let that be your homework. What's your #1 goal that you want to achieve in 2022? And then after writing down that #1 goal, I want you to really just let go. I mean, Nelson just said it. Whatever happened to you in the past, just forget it. You can always start. You know, the only time we've got is now. Yes, we've all made mistakes. We've all done things we wish we didn't do. But guess what? Holding on to everything that happened in 2021 or even the years before. Yes, the pandemic happened. So many things happened. But the most important thing is for you to say, okay, what do I want to achieve 2022, forgetting what happened in 2021. What do I want to achieve, forgetting 2021 and all the years that went before. What you can do is just use everything in the past as a lesson. Use everything in the past as a stepping stone to propel you to having a great 2022. So what is it that I actually wanted to share? So for me, there's one word that for me, I believe if you adopt this word, you will have a great 2022 in everything you do. So again, look at that #1 goal that you've set. In fact, I want you to have it on the back of your mind, or I want you to tattoo it on your heart. And this one word is going to be your driving, it's going to be your driving reason. Or this word is going to be something you look at in everything that you do. And I want you to write this word. It's one of my favorite words in the dictionary. This word I want you to use is called commitment. Commitment. But before I dive into why did I choose this one word? What's commitment anyway? See, the best definition I've ever had of commitment is from George Zaluki. George Zaluki is a human psychologist and an expert in human emotions. And this is what he said. He said, commitment is doing the thing you said you was going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. What was Zaluki talking about? See, we all get motivated, and Millie also talked about it. Sometimes you gotta forget motivation, because guess what? The times when you're gonna have that big goal and dream, and you're going to wake up and you won't feel like it. And that's why I love George Zaluki's quote, definition that says, commitment is doing the thing you said you was going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. I remember when we were kids, our parents gave us things to do. But guess what? Most of the time, we did not feel like doing those things. But guess what? We had no option. If your parents said, go do X, Y, and Z, you couldn't say no. Whether you felt it, whether you felt like it or no, you just had to do it. Because our parents understood the power of emotions. They knew we didn't want to go and read those books all the time. They knew we didn't want to wake up very early in the morning to do those activities before going to school. My daughter is here shaking her head saying, yes, Dad, that's true. When I tell her to do something, it doesn't matter how she's feeling. Yes, she's actually laughing. Because guess what? Our emotions sometimes run us wild. And let's give a real example that we've all used. How many of you here have set up to go to the gym? Anyone set up to go to the gym? And that's my partner. She says no, her. But anyway, what happens is you wake up in the morning, you woke up the night before you set that alarm, and you wake up, guess what? When you wake up in the morning, you are not going to feel like it. So that's why you have to ignore your emotions and go back to George Zaluki, where he said, doing the thing you said you was going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. You're not going to feel motivated all the time, but you gotta push yourself. So how do you really commit to that goal that you set out to achieve? What's commitment? For me, commitment is having what they call a no matter what mindset. Again, Millie mentioned it. 80% of success is what? Mindset. 20% is just psychology, it's just physical. So what you need to do is develop that mindset that no matter what obstacles may be presented at me, no matter what people may say, no matter if the odds are against me, I choose to go after my goals and dreams like my life depends on it. I choose to do whatever it takes by adopting what they call a no matter what mindset. No matter what means, I'm going to go under it, I'm going to go around it, I'm going to go over it, and if all fails, I'm going to go through it, just like a steam train. And I know, some of you say, oh, come, yes, but I'm going to come across obstacles. Exactly. Nelson just nailed it. Adversity is going to introduce you to your other side. So for you to go into your goal, it doesn't mean it's going to be a walk in the park. And that's why your mindset has to be right. You have to know what obstacles are going to be presented. Sometimes the obstacles but there are also some obstacles that are going to come your way that you did not anticipate. What did someone say? Mephisto is going to come from the blind side. And guess what? Once you have that mindset, yes, obstacles are going to come my way. Then guess what? You are preparing your mind for success. So you can't say, oh, I didn't see this coming. No, remember the obstacles are guaranteed. No matter what you do, especially if you're going after a big goal, the obstacles are going to guarantee. And if anyone say to you that there are no obstacles, that it's going to be a walk in the park, I'm here to remind you that they lied to you. They absolutely lied to you. See, sometimes it's funny. My daughter was doing a project, for school, and she said, this is hard. Guess what? I told her nothing comes easy. Sometimes you're gonna have to fail. You can't get something the first time, and it happens. I've got 3 kids, and they'll say, "Oh, Dad, I can't do this." I always say to them, you know what? It's the first time you're doing it. You are not going to get it right. Sometimes you just have to fall and get back up again. Fall and get back up again. But guess what? If you get up more times than you fall, then guess what? 100% you'll be able to overcome that challenge. You'll be able to go through that obstacle. But most importantly is you'll be able to come out stronger than the person you were before. I'm sure everyone has mentioned the challenges they've gone through of the speakers that have spoken, before. Obviously more are coming. But one thing that was in common with all the speakers that I've had today is they all had to overcome challenges. And is that the end? No. Life is just like that. You're always going to be coming across, one obstacle after another. So once you make a commitment, that's why you're saying, you know what? I expect obstacles to come my way, but I am not going to give in to those obstacles. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And what's commitment to most people? Most commitment, this is what a commitment is to most people. I will do it as long as it's convenient. Isn't that what we say? You set yourself a challenge or a goal and say, I'll do it as long as it's convenient. Guess what? If you have big goals and dreams, then forget convenience. Things are not going to be easy. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to take time. But if you will persevere, if you will persist, if you will do everything with a perseverance and a persistence that's never happened before, then guess what? You're going to end up achieving that big goal and dream, but it's going to take you that one word of you committing to your goals and dreams like you've never committed before. And for me, I believe without this word, without commitment, yes, you can have all the rest, But if you're not committed, at some point, then guess what? You are going to quit. And if you study all great achievers, you realize there weren't so much obstacles. There weren't so much ridicule. There weren't so much, people saying, oh, you're crazy. There weren't so much people saying, you gotta be delusional. And one example I would like to share is, we've all heard of the Wright brothers, right? Can you imagine? These were bicycle mechanics. And the next thing they were saying, they wanted to build an airplane. They wanted to get us in the air. Do you know the funny thing is, when you dig into that story, their dad, yes, let me mention this again. Their dad said to them, they were wasting their time. Can you imagine? This is a person who would have been encouraging them to go after their goal and dream. But that dad said to them, you're wasting your time. But I believe the reason they were able to accomplish that big goal is because they had a commitment like never before. Maybe they didn't understand at that time. Sometimes when you're kids, you're just persistent. It's just your nature. So they understood the power of committing to something. Is it going to be? Sometimes commitment might mean having patience. Sometimes commitment might mean giving up and starting all over again on your goals and dreams. So for you to have a great 2022, you gotta stick to that word in everything you do. You gotta commit. So before I wrap up, how can you guys, how can we stay in touch? Yes, so for me, where I share most of my work is, I've got a YouTube channel that's Come Be Inspired. In fact, after this event, go to Come Be Inspired with a K, as in Come, K-A-M, Be Inspired on my YouTube channel. And I put up a YouTube video every single week. And I would like to obviously say I'm so grateful for being invited to share my story today. And before I leave, I would like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes that Les Brown uses all the time, but originally that quote is from Barton Braley. And for me, when I think about commitment, this quote really sums up commitment. And it goes, if you want to think bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you got to sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stand for pugnacity. If neither cold poverty, sickness, or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogs and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will achieve it. And I would like to add, with a committed mindset, you will achieve it. Thank you so much. It's been great serving you today.
Thank you so very much, Cam. That was fantastic. Goodness me. These speakers are just literally dropping it home. Like, you're driving it home. We're so excited that you've been able to share that with us. Thank you. Thank you. Please hold on to your questions. If you've got anything that you'd like to ask, keep your questions handy so that when we get a minute, we will be answering those for you. So our next wonderful speaker is called Joma De Leon. He is a fitness coach. He guides and encourages individuals who wants to improve their fitness and health. He has delivered speeches, workshops with corporate and in a faith. What's happening? Something has happened. So he has delivered court speeches and workshops in corporate and in a faith-based environment. Joma is determined to help in helping individuals to become stronger and fitter version of themselves. So let's welcome Joma to share our nuggets. Not sure if Joma's here. Yes, if you can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, my dear friend.
There you are. You're welcome.
Am I on? I can hear you right now. You're still showing up.
Yeah, you are on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you may want to turn off the Facebook because there's a time delay. So if you're watching on Facebook, you'll have about a 30 to 60 second delay.
Got it. All right. Right now, am I on, Josephine? I just want to make sure I'm okay.
Yes, you are. We can see you clearly.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys. So who am I? Let me start with this one that I am created in God's image, and that is where I find my source of strength and also my passion as well. What am I? I'm a fitness coach and a wellness coach, and still looking for ways to serve other people with a gift and talents that I've been given. What do I love to do? I love to reach out to people and help them understand that they too have passions and gifts that they can share with other people, that they can use to serve others. And recently, I went back to school to pursue my nursing degree at the age of 49. And I'm really excited in this new journey. So that is what I am and who I am. I'm so happy to be part of this wonderful group. And I have tons of notes in front of me from all you speakers. So thank you for sharing your life. Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you for sharing your wonderful wisdom to all of us. Thank you. In the past year, in the beginning of the year, I would ask this question, probably you two have done. It is, what is my goal for this upcoming year? I start with a what. But this year I changed my approach. Instead of starting with what, I asked this question. And the question is, from what to what is really important to me? That's what I started with. And instead of what is my goal is, I ask, what is truly important to me this year? And that really changed my way of thinking. By asking this question of what is truly important to me, it gives me a time to really reflect my whole entire life. And what is really important to me, that I know that if I focus and commit, as some of you have said, and persevere to have this thing that's truly important to me, how will it really affect my life? Not just part of my life, but whole entire life. I'm sure that since a lot of you guys are coaches, you yourself have used this one or with your clients, what we call life wheel, and how life will kind of show us a little bit of map on every major aspect of our lives, such as career, finance, personal growth, and on and on and on, including families and relationships. So after I asked the question of what is truly important to me, and my answer to this question is my faith. What's truly important to me is my faith. I love my family. I love what I do. I love working with my clients. But what's truly important to me is my faith. After finding it out and finding this reality that what's truly important to me is my faith, and then I used the life wheel and said, okay, how does my faith relate in loving my family? How does my faith relate in taking care of my health? How does my faith relate in personal growth, in my career, in serving my community? How does my faith helping me become a better person? And I would encourage you as well to do the same thing. When you have figured out what is what is one thing that's truly important to you, you start asking those questions. How does it relate in my whole being? How is what I know, what I love at the present that's really important to me, how will it help me serve my client better? How will it help me love my family better? How will it help me grow as a human being? And that's why I think it's so important to ask, not just what is my goal, but rather what is it at the present time that I know for certain that is truly, truly important in my life. After that, I ask my question. I ask this question, which is, who must I become? Who must I become to make sure that I can stay focused and committed in pursuing this thing that's truly important to me? Who must I become? What are the necessary characters that I need to develop? What are the habits that I need to embrace? Or maybe let go. That's not serving me well. Are there certain skills that I need to learn and improve? So who must I become? There's a simple structure that I use when I start asking this type of question. And I use what I call add and subtract, add and subtract. I ask myself, okay, what's working right now? Well, okay, I have a daily routine, my Bible daily devotional, I have my morning prayer, I have a morning journal. Great, wonderful. What else can I add? What else can I add in this routine that will help me? And then I would ask, what should I do more? What are the things that are helping me right now that I can invest more time in doing those things that I know if I do, it will help me tremendously? What's working? What should I do more? And then subtract. What's not working? What's not working right now? Well, sometimes I oversleep. Okay, what else? Sometimes I don't sleep early enough, which in a way kind of connected to what I just said, which is I don't wake up early enough. What can I do to correct that? Well, go to sleep a little bit early at night so I can wake up a little bit early in the morning so I can do more of the things that I love to do that I know will help me. So who must I become? What's working? What should I do more? What's not working? What should I do less? Brian Tracy said, to achieve something that you never achieved before, you need to do things that you never done before and become a person that you never been before. After pondering and meditating, who must I become? There are 4 things that I do after that. And it starts with what I call play the movie. Play the movie. Play the movie in my head. What will happen if I fully commit myself in doing my best in pursuing this thing that's truly important to me at this time of my life? What does it look like? What joy will I get? What wonderful experience will it give me? Not just me, but also the people around me, the people I serve. So really visualize very clearly, what does it look like? And then I engage my emotion. It's like eating an apple. When you eat an apple, you take a bite, yeah, you feel it in your mouth. But when you start to really taste the juice of the apple, it changes the whole experience. So same thing, I see my head, yes, by pursuing what I truly desire, which is to grow in my faith, it will help me to love my wife and my child better. But what does that really feel to be able to love them well? Along with, and then I intensify the feeling. I intensify the feeling. So play the movie, see it clearly in your head, and then feel, taste. What does that feel like? As some of the coaches that mentioned a while ago, pursuing something great often forces us to face the obstacles. So the question I ask myself, knowing that there will be obstacles, how do I stay on track? How do I stay on track? Well, first, I need to be aware of my detractors. What are my detractors? What are the possible detractors? Well, one of them is internal detractors, such as fear, self-doubt, unforgiveness can be a detractor. Laziness, idleness can be a detractor. Those are the internal detractors that I need to be aware of. And I need to be honest that yes, these are my detractors. Yes, I fear to pursue this. Yes, I have doubt that I can achieve this. Yes, I have not forgiven this person that I should forgive. And yes, from time to time, I can be lazy. Followed by external detractors. People sometimes can detract us. People who doesn't see our vision for ourselves, even though they mean well, but they said, no, that's too big of a risk. Well, who are you to say that you can achieve great things when you have not even achieved small things? So be mindful of your internal and external detractors. What about when we get derailed? When we fall off the track, as people would say, what do? Bounce back. Bounce back, just like a basketball full of air. You drop it, it bounces back up. You drop it, you bounce back up. Bounce back. But sometimes that is easy to say, but difficult to do. So what are the things that can help us bounce back? Well, may I suggest this? Go back to what is truly important to you. Revisit that. Play that movie again. Okay, if I don't bounce back, if I let my failure stop me from bouncing back, how will that affect my life? What pain will I experience? What sadness will I experience? What are the things that I will miss if I don't bounce back? The what and the why. Why is this important to me? Why is this crucial that I need to bounce back and not stay down? Why? The bigger your why, the greater the motivation, the most likely we will bounce back. And followed by play the movie, as I said earlier. What will it look like? What does it taste like if I don't bounce back? My dear friends, we are fully aware that life is short. It's like a smoke. We see it before our eyes and it disappears before our eyes. Or a fleeting shadow in a dark alley. You see it, suddenly it's gone. Where did it go? What was that? Life. Let's remind ourselves daily what's truly important in our lives. Let us become the person who adds value to others by serving them with our God-given talents and skills. Let's positively engage with our families, friends, and strangers, our community. Let's make each day count. My fellow coaches and friends, I wish you great health, massive success, and a God-honoring 2010-2022. I'm so grateful to be part of this group. I am so blessed to know you guys, and I look forward in working with you and serving with you as well. Thank you for having me.
Woo! Thank you so very much, Joma. That was amazing. Thank you so very much. Lots of notes once again, and I hope you are really pretty moved, because it's a lot to take in, but it's amazing. So let's now move on to our next amazing speaker. She's Cranita De Luch. She is a transformational coach. She lives in Texas, where God has assigned her. I hear a lot of God. So we are in the right place at the right time, as Dr. Nelson said. So she is a God-fearing woman, wife, sister, and an auntie, and she is a mother as well. She has served the military for the last 4 years. The Lord has allowed her to go on to step into several companies, one being Renewed Mind Transformation of Coaching. She loves helping individuals with their mindset coaching models on thought process and overall spiritual edification. She is determined to do her Father's will by spreading the gospel and helping others become free on the mind from themselves. One of her favorite things to do is to draw and paint, to keep her hands busy and mind silent. She loves spending time with her family and serving God. Cranita is a host of Renewed and Reminded Godly podcast. It is a worldly renowned podcast streaming through Anchor, Google, and Spotify, all over different platforms at the same time. Let's put our hands together and welcome the amazing Cranita.
Can you hear me? I hope I'm not echoing.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I would love to share my screen whenever you give me access to do that. It's going to be on the desktop one.
You should have full access at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Cranita De Luch. I go by Coach Q because Cranita is sometimes a mouthful, but I'm super excited to be on here. It's my second time. I want to give honor to God before I start doing anything. I just want to, acknowledge that, some things are just meant to be. And today are one of those days. Today was a meant to be day for us to be here. I mean, it's a Sunday. It's different times. We're all sitting down on one accord just to edify our mind and hear what other people are doing and know that this year has already started, but I've got to start it right. Like, I don't know about how I did 2018 or 2017, but I know this year I've got to start it off right, because something is just in me that's got to come out. I got to deliver whatever I'm pregnated with. And so before I get going, because I can get going, I really do want to share this little quick presentation. And I'm be honest, my PowerPoint probably looks very simple. And that's how I am. I'm very simple because I've learned that, and it may not even share the way I want it to, and that's okay. Sometimes whatever you have to just start with that. You don't get to start with a whole bunch of other stuff. It may be moving really, really slow. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, I do not want to take time away from myself. So I'm not even going to share that. It's just pretty much a really quick countdown of me just hyping myself up. And I think it's going, maybe. There we go. Whatever. Okay. So it was going to go 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to just count down and then boom, I always love to take a deep breath before I start, because you start thinking like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to forget? And you don't, you just need to take a deep breath. So let me take my deep breath, y'all. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Okay, so now we can begin. Man, there has been some phenomenal stuff. There's some of this stuff I really don't have nothing to say, because everybody has went over what I was going to say. to the point where, you know, you're going to hit these areas where you need simple steps. And we started off with that to going into, you got to be real and tell your story, because your story is your story. And then I heard a story, and then I saw Andre, oh my goodness, just her emotion and the way she told a thing, and you could feel the thing. And then going into back to saying, okay, practically, I got to think about some things. And everything that was said, even to the last speaker, just what is most important to me? Like everything I could say has been said. So I'm gonna just highlight what I do most. And I highlight transparency. I highlight what it looks like to not be prepared, and you can still be professional. Sometimes we get caught up in, I need more skill before I just go and do something. But what if you are already skillful? What if your story prepared you to already have a great 2022? Just that alone. Like, what if everything you've been through, like you can forget about it, but at some point, all that pain had purpose. And so I'm all about purpose work. Purpose work is what I love. And I learned at the beginning of this year, there is some unfinished purpose work. I've started some things. And so in 2022, I'm not asking what to do. I'm looking at, I never finished this. I heard the Lord say this. I heard, you know, I saw this, but I let the distractions and the derailment, right? I slowly let that become an emotional pillar to keep me from doing what I wanted to do. That's it. That's all I did. The difference was this year, I decided to shut that up. And I'm going to share you 8 different ways I did that, because you got to get over yourself. If you think so hard into thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna hit this year. I got all these plans. I got and it's in the air. It has no attachment. It has no why. It has no, what is the one, it don't have anything. Like, you're just doing stuff, and we can get caught up in being so busy. You do absolutely nothing. And I've been that person. So I know what I'm talking about. I run an international podcast, and I remember starting a thing and telling everybody like, hey, y'all, this is what it's going to be about. And then I disappeared. I disappeared because I was like, man, this is a really great opportunity, but I really don't know if I can. And then like my brains was like, whoa. And then I had to really get to a place and get silent. And that's where I want to start, getting to this place where you have to get silent. Man, again, I just want to thank everybody, because y'all, this is it. This moment, I don't know who's going to watch this, but this is it. You are a walking miracle. What you've been saying all day has been a miracle to me. I have been going through some things on the within, and I am super encouraged. So I just want to thank everybody that's going to speak, even the speaker that's coming after me. I want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody that's coordinated. And I want to thank the host. You're doing an amazing job. So yeah, let's get into this. The first thing, the first thing you want to do is to have a better design 2022. You want to get the mental foundation. You say that's a lot of steps to get mental foundation. It's really not. It's 2 different things. Either you're going to be honest or you're going to be dishonest. That's it. Stop making this harder than what it is. I had to realize I was not honest when I started my podcast. I was thinking I could do this. I don't mind interviewing you. And then when I called you, I was like, hey, you want, I was actually nervous. I was not saying that. And I had to change that, because my honesty, it really helped me so much. And I'm seeing that. But my dishonesty, guess what it did, y'all? It taught me my honesty. It gave me my audience. And that's what everybody is called to do, a type of work. That work is only for you. And so once you speak, your audience is going to appear. That's it. We do all this stuff about get your niche, and you can get that. But what if you getting it and you fake? So you cannot fake it. You have to be real. You have to be authentic. You have to be the billionaire with no money. You have to be it here in your heart and in your mind and in your spirit. So number 2 is get your spiritual connection together. You got to get a clear vision. How do you get clear vision? That's it. You sit down, be quiet, stop coming up with other stuff. You realize, what am I carrying? That's the thing that I'm writing on for the podcast, is what am I carrying into this year? I'm already carrying this. Oh, I'm going to write a book. I've already wrote a book that's never published. It's sitting in a journal right here. I just didn't do enough work to edit it, to get it, to talk to somebody. Like, I didn't do that stuff. So let me get my heart, my spirit, my connection together, and let me go ahead and revisit and clean up some things so I can get clarity. And once clarity comes, the vision is clear. So you can see what you got to do. What happens then is when you get the clear vision, just kind of how we talked about that adversity, that pull, that structure of gravity, even in this realm, silence hurts. That's just it. That's number 3. You got to deal with this, because in the silence of a thing is when you're behind the scenes working so hard and it comes in your mind. It's behind the thing when you go and help everybody and you find yourself crying in the bathroom because you're mentally stuck. Because I was abandoned at a young age too. I had to grow up in foster care too. It's not just my story, it's so many other stories, but I just keep trying. And so number 3 is you got to go ahead and feel that blood, feel that fluid, feel that pain. Go back and say, you know what? I did hit my toe on the table and I tried to pretend, but man, my toe hurts. You have to let that out, because if you keep going and you walk on that thing and you don't say anything, when somebody asks you, are you okay, or how you doing, or hey, did you finish that goal? Now you mad. Now you upset. But it's something you let be on the inside manifest. So now you only have number 4. You only have room for improvement, because you're not perfect. Get that out, just throw it away. You only have room for improvement. That's it. Once I learn how to improve, honesty, my heart is getting better. The blood and fluid of I can feel a thing and say, okay, you know what? I'm not keeping this in. I'm going to take a minute to myself and just, all right, I got this. Now I'm really improving, because I'm not correcting nobody else. I'm correcting me. I'm correcting myself. And so I appreciate the fact that the honesty is the first thing, my mental. If I can get this right, then what comes out my mouth, oh, it's lethal, because now I know what I'm saying, because I went through it in silence. How many of us started practicing speaking by yourself? And you literally thought, who is going to probably listen to this? Or honesty, there's a lot of people going to listen to that, but you're not going to see those people. You can see them in a vision though. How many people had a vision? You can see them in a vision, but when you get up on your first time to speak, you start getting nervous. You start getting all these things. And so that's where we improve, because number 5 is we got to close the door to some things we open. See, at a young age, I always saw people around my mom pursue addiction. And so I closed that door very quickly. And I said, okay, this is not for me. But what is for me, because I kept seeing shut doors. And when I found out art was a way to speak without speaking, because these people ain't gonna understand I want to be an artist. They're not. I had to go back and close some doors. I want you today to make a list of what is open and yet what is screaming at me like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Close that door. Go do that thing. Go apologize. Go forgive. Go do whatever it is, because that's where your revenue is. Once you let go of some things that you're carrying, you all of a sudden feel better. You feel lighter. So number 6, it's necessary. Do what is necessary in this year. Honesty is necessary. If they would have told us COVID was coming, all honesty, I would have already had my mask before they was $15.99. I would have bought them, but I couldn't do that because it was here before I thought they. Look, that's another story. Same thing with the recession. Same thing with just stuff going on. Same thing with somebody that's walking down the street and they're going to get mugged, but they're not thinking about that. Like, if I could do what was necessary to protect myself, I would. So I'm not expecting anything, but I'm going to do what's necessary in my mind. Hopefully that piece draws back in. I might have been losing it for a second, but what I'm pretty much trying to say is that anything unspoken will manifest. So if it's necessary for you to go back and be honest and spend a little bit more time on your vision, because you can't improve with an unclear vision. You can't improve with it because you'll be improving like non-functioning things. It'll be a lot of moving pieces, but no steps. Because number 7 is accountability. You've got to have somebody to hold you account. I don't care if it's your dog. Like if you get like you have to find some type of thing to hold you accountable. My thing is my 6-year-old son, my husband, my family. And then I said, man, what? Okay. Because some things, you know, everything will eventually grow on and your children will get. So I'm like, okay. What is it? What's my accountability? It's my younger me. It's my younger me. Whatever she didn't have, I'm accountable now to become that, because there's another me that don't have the mentality I have, don't have that mental toughness or that story. And so number 8 is go ahead, get the accountability right, take the action. Don't hold anything back. If it's a video of saying, hey, y'all, I just spoke live on a blog. If it's a video, honestly speak about it. I was nervous. I did this, because you will be so surprised how many people are right there. If it's you working at fast, it's whatever moment you had when you had that moment of like, this is not for me, share that, because somebody is working. I remember working like that. 2 jobs, trying to make everything come together. I held everything in though. And I was like, hi, Mayor, can I get your food and everything? Okay, my pleasure. But I was so dealing with that silent hurt. And in 2022, the way you can get a better one is to be honest, is to be real with you. And it is to take the actions to fix what is already fixed, really, because it's not in your hands, because some stuff is already destined for you to go through, and he see you going through it. It's us that's got to go. We got to go through a thing to see it. That makes us us. So what am I trying to say? Oh my goodness, man. Somebody already said it. And they said your commitment is who you are. Like, what are you committing to? What are you going to commit to? I believe that's how he said it. But what I'm going to say is what I heard a very, very powerful person say. And he said, anytime you committed to anything, you're going to be tried. Either you have it made up in your mind or you don't have it. And in that moment, when commitment is tried, you are who you are. You either accept you or you reject yourself. You're not worried about nobody else rejecting you now. So in 2022, don't reject yourself. Be honest. Maybe you're not there yet. Go get the accountability. I don't mind. I will help you, because I know. And so it's an experience of a thing that gets you out of the fear. Do not let fear cripple you. And we've seen what that can do to many people. So I'm thankful for speaking today. I hope I didn't take too long. I would say for the call of action again, what I want to leave you with, and that's my final thing and I'm done, is call out the doubt. And I mean straight up. You know how you call your friend and you be like, hey, I got all these problems. Man, my dog and got out the yard. Call up fear and whatever it is and say, look, I'm gonna need you to be gone by 2:00 because today I'm doing a presentation and I don't have time to be nervous on a thing that I'm already prepared for. Click. You sometimes have to do the physical and the natural so that your spiritual mental can be reconnected. And then when you get there, like today, I kid you not, I had a blank piece of paper. I have no more paper because everybody said everything. And I'm like, dang, what am I going to say now? And so I made a whole nother sheet because I said, and my PowerPoint didn't even work. So that's how I know what you are meant to do. You're going to do it with no resources. You're going to do it. You're going to love to do it. Are we getting paid? No, we don't even want the money. We want your growth. We want to see you live out of a thing and get better. That's why I'm here today. That's why Global Speaking Group exists, because we knew that some of us had something to say. We don't have a place. And so this is the place. And so we want to encourage you, if you're watching, join on Facebook. The way you can contact me is on Facebook and Instagram. It's called Cranita De Luch. Our YouTube is kind of beginning. And so anybody want to help me with that? I take it. And then my international podcast is called Renewed and Reminded. It's a godly podcast. It's about mental biblical structure and how to live that thing out. And we're not perfect. I'll be honest with y'all, but it's about trying together. And that's how we overcome.
Powerful once again. Thank you so very much, Cranita. That was fantastic. Really, really getting a lot out of this. So thank you so much. We now have our next guest speaker, who is called Bernard. Skiba. I never get to pronounce that name right, but he is a counselor, a mentor, a coach, and I admire what he does because he's got a vast amount of experience and everything. So he was born in 1963 in LA, California. He spent his childhood moving between USA, California, and Germany. His need to serve society, fulfillment, and personal improvement led him to enlist for 6 years in the United States Marine Corps and getting to be part of the Allied Special Forces. And he has over 25 years of professional experience in creating communication and spirit and structure problems within companies and work groups. During the last years, after temporarily retiring from the corporate and managerial environment, seduced by the possibility of teaching human beings to be able to put your disposal his knowledge and experience accompanying you in the achievement of your objectives through the resolution of your conflicts. I'd love to welcome Mr. Bernard to give us some more nuggets again.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Josephine, for your kind words. I hope you can all hear and see me, but most important that you can hear me. I had a wonderful, very special presentation prepared for today, you know, PowerPoint, lots of animations, some effects, kind of like the heritage of my former life, but I decided not to share it. Why? Because that would have been only repeating what all these wonderful speakers have already told you. Now, the question of today's event is how can you, not me, how can you change your life in 2022? So I'm not here to tell you a motivating story about my life. I'm basically just an average guy like every other person in the world, but like every other person in the world, we all live extraordinary lives. Let's not forget that life itself is the most extraordinary gift that we can have. And it's up to us to live our life according to what has been said and what I just call my own terms, integrity. That means it's my life and I'm not here to live by anyone else's standards but my own. It's my life and I have to live it according to my values, to my beliefs, according to my objectives, according to my goals, but also according to my own limitations. And one of the biggest problems that we face as human beings, especially now in the self-development or self-development sector, is we find it hard to accept our limitations. So when we look at our life didn't happen overnight. Our life is the result of all the actions that have been, that we've been taking place, of all the decisions that we've made in our life. And those decisions are a result of our thoughts and our emotions. And these thoughts and emotions are the result of what we are aware of about our perspective. So the minute you change your perspective, the moment that you become aware of things already change and you're no longer the same. So if somebody asked me, how can I change my life in 2022? I would give him specific individual advice according to his own life story, according to his circumstances, according to his context, according to his abilities, and also according to his limitations. But now, today, I've been asked to give generic and general advice or share my perspective about how we can change our lives. So it's not about me. It's not about how many times I have faced death, my own death, or how many times I've seen other people die around me. Some of them due to a terminal disease, some of them due to their own fault. Some people make a mistake and they pay with the highest gift, with their lives. Some people take their life because they don't see value in their life. And I say value, not meaning. Nowadays, meaning of life, life purpose is like, I'm not going to say a cliche, but people strive for meaning. If we look at the psychology schools, some say we're impulse driven. That means that we have to satisfy our immediate needs, our short-term desires. Some say, no, we're here to prosper. We're here to become a best version of ourselves. And some say we're here because we long and we strive for meaning. I cannot help anyone find meaning for 2022 or 2022. But what I can tell you, and that's been demonstrated and documented by history, is that meaning can only be found through the purpose of your own fundamental resources. The purpose you give into your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, and your actions will determine the meaning that you will have in your life. So you don't have to search or to look to have a meaningful life. You have to put meaning into whatever you think, whatever you feel, whatever you decide, and whatever you do. And as a result of that, you will indeed have lived, if you look back at your life, a meaningful life. So when we come to how can we do that? How can you achieve that? Or how can I achieve that? First thing I have to do, and now we get not into the whys, not into the whats, we go nitty-gritty into the how. How can I do that? First of all, I have to make a complete and very honest inventory of my life. Where am I right now? And where do I want to be? Who do I want to become? What do I want to do? What do I want to have achieved by the end of 2022? Once I get clarity on that, I can start looking in the four, let's say the four pillars of my life, which is my mindset, which is my health set, which is my wealth set, and my social and spiritual set. So we have those four spheres of our life that are under our complete control. If I want to make more money, then I have to put a number on that. How much more do I want to make? How much money do I want to make? Do I want to earn 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20 or more? Put a number and then deconstruct it. What do I have to do in order to get there? The same thing happens for my health. I want to run 10 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles, 2 miles. What time do I want to run that distance in? Because if I don't put a clear objective on it, I will never be able to see if I'm reaching the goal or not. Aim small, that's something that we'll learn in sniper school. Nowadays, everybody's telling you, go big, dream big, aim big. In sniper school, they told us, aim small, fail small. Goes along with those small steps that we heard before. If you take small steps and you fail, believe me, we all fail. We will fail small. And we will be able to take the next step. Or as Chinese philosophy says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with only one step. and then another one, and then another one. So that comes to the health part. What about the food? What about what we eat? Once we become aware of what we put into our body, we know how to change also that part that gives us more energy for our daily routines, that gives us more energy for our social life, and that gives us more health. The third pillar, when we said first one was mindset, watch what you put into your mind, your thoughts, what do you consume, what books do you read, what TV series, movies do you watch? Educate yourself, feed it with things that are positive, feed it with growth, feed it with positive, good things, but feed it with truth. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest to yourself, because that will bring you further. So we have the mindset. We have the health set. What about our heart set, our emotions? Are we aware of our emotions? Do we manage our emotions, or are we managed by our emotions? How do we respond and how do we react? A reaction is natural, it's impulsive, it's instinct. A response is something that we manage, that we control. And we have to learn how to get control over that. And last but not least, our spiritual and our social set. Do we nurture our spirit? Do we nurture our soul? Do we nurture our relationships with people? All that does take conscious action. All that needs perspective, and we need to be aware of that. So what do you want to change? Find out from those 4 pillars, what do you want to change in your life? Make a priority list. What is the most important things for you in those 4 pillars? Pick 4 or 5 for each one of those, and then set the priorities. Which one is the most important one? And then you tackle that. You can tackle 4 at the same time. You cannot tackle 4 financial objectives at the same time, but you can go for 1 health, 1 wealth, 1 heart, and 1 spiritual goal at a time. So that makes 4. We all know basically that it takes anywhere between 22, 23, and 66 or 90 days to install a habit. If you want to install more than 1 habit at a time, you can do that. But you have to program those, and you have to stick to it. At the beginning, it's extremely uncomfortable. It takes a lot of energy. In the middle, it's going to be a little bit messy because you're not in, you're not out. It's like when you're stepping from one room to another. You have 1 foot in one side and 1 foot on the other side. Follow through no matter what. We heard that also today. No matter what. Install that habit. It's going to be hard. It's going to be painful at the beginning, but then it's going to be natural. It won't need any more effort. At the beginning, a lot of effort, escape velocity, but then it's going to be gorgeous. So that's what needs to be changed. And then on the second list of your priorities, what do you want to change? We all think about the nice to haves, and we tend to forget about what we need to do. We have the freedom to choose, but it's our responsibility to answer ourselves, not what life owes to me. It's what do I own myself? So it's up to you to decide What do you owe yourself? You owe yourself to live your best life possible. You owe yourself to live your life according to your standards, to your rules. So when we talk about how can I change, we talk about change management. And change management is nothing but habit management. And when you say you want to change your life, it's you, or me in this case, that needs to change something. So go back to that inventory, check what do you really want to change, what do you really need to change, to find out what do you have to change. So we have those priorities. We know it takes 30 to 90 days. We have made that list, 4 items or 5 items for one of those 4 pillars. That gives you 16 manageable targets that you can change in 2022. And it will be, when you look back, a piece of cake. It's going to be uphill at the beginning, but it's going to be a piece of cake at the end. So plan, follow through, but then again, life changes. Be prepared. As we said in Marines, I was a recon Marine, combat diver, and sniper. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Learn to let go. And last but not least, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now in Madrid. I would like to say, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And I would like to thank you all, wonderful speakers, for all the value that you provided. I also want to thank Global Speakers Talk for giving me the opportunity to share my 5 or 10 minutes. And I would like to end my 5 or 10 minutes only with 2 sentences. One is, purpose is given in whatever you do, and meaning is found in whatever you do. And last but not least, as we said in the Marines, Semper Fidelis, that means always faithful. Be always faithful and truthful to yourself, because you owe it to yourself. Thank you so much, Josephine. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Bernard. That is fantastic. As always, you over-deliver, and it touches the heart one more time. And our next speaker is our supporting member from the GST, and I would love to invite him. His name is Stephen Busher. If he would love to come and share with us what he's got to share, anything about him and what he does and how to find him at the same time, because he is a great asset to us all.
Oh, thank you so much, Josephine, and thank you for doing such an amazing job hosting. So if everybody just give you just a round of applause, because you are the glue that holds all this together, and you did an amazing job. And thank you to all of the people, the guests. I'm not going to speak long. I am a supporting member in this endeavor. I am here for technical support. We each have things that we're doing, and that's what I've heard throughout the day, is that this is about being authentic with your message. It's about reaching out. It's being brave. It's changing. If you want a different result for 2022, it's changing something in your life today. And we've been inspired. We've heard great messages about what we can do and some different ideas. And I love the idea about starting small, about changing a habit, changing something that will make a difference. So we do have, I would say, get as involved as you can in the Global Speakers Talk and connect with the people. That's where the power is. It's connecting with each other. It's supporting one another. It's going to each other's groups. There is no competition when we're talking about a global market, because what we do is going to impact the world. And that's where we need support. It's going to take all of us to make the changes that we are seeking to make in this world. So thank you so much. There is, each one of us has different things that we're working on. just follow those people. If you resonate with them, follow them and support them in their endeavors. I have a small group called the Better Life Series, and it's about connecting amazing people like yourselves, and support and be involved in this community and each other's community. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Amazing. Thank you so very much. It has been amazing to host this for me personally, and I've written a lot of notes. I'm just inspired by every single speaker that has been here. So look forward to connecting with you all, because you inspire me a lot. And yeah, so if you've got any questions, we're just wrapping this up. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below. We have got a Facebook community called GST Global Speakers Community. Come ask any questions. I think this has been streamed live in there as well. Put the comments below, share the link, and yeah, so we look forward to seeing you again soon. And if anyone is taking some pictures, hang on a minute. If you can take some pictures, I can't see.
If so, if you just hit the gallery view, is there anybody here that that is good at doing the? Was it Maria that did that? Maria that did the pictures, or who was the picture taker last time? So we'll count down. I'll just do a screen snapshot. So if you would, just on the count of 3, everybody smile. And 1, 2, 3. Cheese. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll look forward to seeing you again in a month's time.
So thank you all. So normally when we do just a wrap up, we just do a quick celebrations and challenges. Was there anything on the technical side, any challenges anyone had, or? All right, any celebrations anybody wants to mention?
It's been fantastic.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bernard.
Awesome job, everybody.
Been great. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone.
Great job, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
You guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
And you are too.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you.
Josephine, do you have access? So did you download to the cloud or to your computer?
I think I did to the computer, or I'm not
Perfect.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should be under your document settings. Thanks, Frankie. Should be under your document settings and then under the Zoom ID.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll get back to you soon.
Thank you, Josephine and Stevie. All the best. Great platform. I loved it. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
I love the session. I love the speakers. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Amazing
Take care, look after
conversation.
yourselves, yeah? Bye-bye.
Bye.